Okay, so PBR textures. I've taken two textures from the Tinternet, one of wood and another one of just some pebbles. Currently, they are just random sizes, I believe. We're going to look at the pebble one for this experiment to show you. So the image is square, but it isn't tileable, and that's the first thing that you need to make sure happens. It's the one thing they're going to look for. It's hard for them to know for sure whether it's tiled unless you kind of show them that it's tiling. So show them 4 different blocks using the same texture. Okay, so the way to set this up so you know how tileable it is, go to filter at the top, come down to other, and then down to offset. And you'll see that it will try and move it around so that you can see where the lines are and where it's kind of offsetting. So there's the middle of that part, and then the middle of the vertical we can move down as well, so it's somewhere in the middle. Okay, you don't have to get it bang on, just get it somewhere so that you can see a fair amount of it. Then quickest thing you can do, and it doesn't always come out beautifully, but use this one here. So this is the spot healing tool. Decent sized brush, click, hold down shift, it'll draw a straight line, you let go, and it'll attempt to blend in between the area that you had selected. Okay, same goes the other way, click, hold down shift, blend. Like I said, there's areas where it hasn't worked very well, but from a distance it kind of works. You don't really notice that there's any kind of blending going on there. If you've got time, and some of you will have, you could navigate around a couple of your stones that you've got on here, or whatever it is that you've got in your scene. Control C, Control V, and then move those around so that you can cover up some of the where those lines were, right? And then obviously you can use your Control T to rotate, and you can rotate the stones around as well. Just be careful when you're rotating things. So these stones, for example, light is coming from the top left-hand corner. You can see how most of the stones are being hit by a tiny little highlight. So if you're grabbing and rotating bits of stones, then make sure you're not rotating them out of line with the light, because that'll look odd. Okay, so let's imagine that we've done all of the sort of intersection bit and we're happy with how tileable it is. Then we need to make sure that it is a ×2 texture. So by that I mean a 512 or a 1024 or a 2048. Really quickly, because we already know this one is square, then it's quite simple. We can just go up here to our crop tool, and then in the top there we can type in what we want it to be. So it's already 2048 by the looks of it. So 2048 px, meaning pixels, enter, and then the same on this side, 2048 px pixels. Okay, so it's trimming off just that very top layer and the bottom, so it wasn't perfectly square. So we would have to go back and do the tileable thing again just to make sure. So filter, other, offset. Let's see if it's noticeable. Not really. Oh, sorry. I was only doing it on the one layer. Let's do it again. Okay, there we go. So we've got our middle line. I think it was only vertical that it had the problem. So you can see I'm currently scrolling it right, and it's difficult for you to see where the line is. It's just here, roughly. So I'll just redo this bottom one. Yay, that'll do. Okay. So then you would save that one out. So that's your albedo. So file, save as. I'm saving mine in this PBR Unity file that I've got already set up. I'm going to drop it in materials, and for the albedo, it can be a JPEG. Albedo pebbles, done. Right, then we need to make the metalness map. That sheet up there, and there's a smaller version of it over there, explains what each of the channels do, okay? But I'm going to go through it with you now. I think I've done this with you once before. So I don't think I recorded it, but, so here we go. So in the channels, the blue channel, as you can see on the form, is not used. It's used for height. If you ever want to use it for height, then you can use it for height. Otherwise, it's not used. So we can just select the blue channel, and we can use a black brush and just go, you're not necessary. Okay, so we can just wipe it out completely. Then we can go to the green channel, which is our ambient occlusion. So that's just looking at where are the shadows inside this texture. Well, it's quite clear where the shadows are because the stones are nicely making those shadows for us. So all we're going to do is blow them up a little more. So select the green channel for the ambient occlusion, go into image, adjustments, and then into levels. And then we want to bring the white nice up and high and the darks dark, right? That's it. That's showing you pretty quickly where the shadows are. Done. We don't need to do any more to that. Then on the red, that's telling us what's metal and what's not metal. Well, they're stones and they're not metal at all, right? So the red channel means that they're completely black. Okay. The last one that we want is the smoothness. So you see there's an A, there's an alpha channel, right? We need to add the alpha channel. So we go down inside our channel box here to this little add and click it once and it'll add in an alpha, okay? Then what we want to do is we'll copy, so Control A, Control C, and then drop into our alpha channel and Control V it straight into there. Now, it's a bit overblown. It needs to be, white is shiny, black is not shiny, okay? So depending on how shiny you want your stones, depends on where you're placing these. I might need to, let's back up. I'm going to bring back this one for a second. Control A, copy, make the alpha, and paste it into there. Okay. So red again was metal. So remember, metal's just going to be black. And then in the alpha channel, so this is my how shiny do I want my stones to be. And then again, go into my levels, and I can adjust it. So maybe I only want some of the pebbles to be shiny and other ones to not be. Okay, so you can see the ones that are going to glint and the ones that aren't just by looking at that. This is really rough version of it. People spend hours and days kind of tweaking these for games, but we're just doing it just to show that we understand how to do it. So I think it's a merit criteria, or it might even be a pass criteria. So just get them, knock them out, basically. Okay, done. This map can't be saved as a JPEG. Reason why? It's got an alpha, basically. Yeah, so kind of right. So we don't need the blue. We only need the red, the green, and the alpha. So then we go up to File, Save As, and then instead of a JPEG, choose Targa. And then in here, call this your Pebbles Metal. Save. Okay. And then we jump into Unity. Okay, so in here, here's my maps that I've just created. So I can grab this floor, which is literally just a plane. I'll delete it and bring it in again. So it's just 3D object, completely blank Unity scene, 3D object, drop in a plane. And then the plane over here will have a material. Right click inside your material box here, create a material here. And then with that one selected, here's your albedo, there's your metallic, there's your normal map, etc., etc. So I'm going to grab the pebbles for albedo, drop them in there. And then this is the Metalness Map. I can drop them in there. It's also the Ambient Occlusion map, so I can drop it in there because it's using that other channel. And then we want to build a normal map. Okay, so we're going to let Unity do that for us. We've got two options. We can either grab this, we can either grab this pebbles map and take that onto, you know, the normal map online that you can see. That does a half decent job, but Unity's got its own version as well. And to use it, I am just going to undo so that we get rid of the black and white version of the alpha. So this one. I'm going to Control A and copy it. And then in a brand new folder or brand new scene, I'm going to paste it. And then I'm just going to save that as the bump. So this one can be saved as a JPEG. That's fine. And we'll call it bump map. Cool. Back into Unity. That bump map then, you select it here. Up in the top texture type, you change that to say normal map. You tell it to create a normal map from grayscale. The bumpy sharpness here, bring it right down. It usually it overblows it every single time. So bring it nice and far down, click apply, creates a normal map out of the bump map straight away for us. And then we can go back to our material, drag our bump into the normal, drag the whole thing into the scene. We can choose however much we want it to tile by. We can see what the tiling's looking like. And then over here with the metallicness, we can choose how smooth it is or how shiny it is. It's not picking up. Give me just 1 second. Make sure we kick those out. So make sure you got alpha selected when you kick out the target. Paste that one. There we go. So here's our smoothness. So how shiny do we want that to affect them? We can turn it off, turn it up or down, and then you've created a PBR, very, very quick PBR map that has shininess added to it. Okay, you can do exactly the same thing for like wood or other materials. So here's like a porcelain thing that we made, I think, last time. This one. And that one's actually using the blue channel as a, show you here. So it's using the blue channel as a height map as well, which you don't need to use, but it can do. Okay, so you need to make 3 of those. I'm here for the rest of the lesson to help you with them. So just kind of crack on and go for them, yeah? The video will be on Classroom instantly. All right?
They have to be in the scene.
They don't have